The world we live in feels predictable. Every day follows a routine. People go to work, cities stay busy, and life moves forward in a way that seems logical and understandable. But if we look deeper into history, we discover something very strange. Our world is also filled with events that seem to defy logic, incidents that scientists struggle to explain, and mysteries that remain unsolved even after decades. Across different countries and different centuries, there have been bizarre incidents that sound like something straight out of a science fiction movie. Yet these stories are not fiction. They actually happened. Events where people suddenly vanished without leaving a trace. Situations where hundreds of people behaved in ways no one could explain. And moments when nature itself seemed to break its own rules. These strange incidents remind us that even in the modern age, the world still holds many secrets. In today's video, we are going to explore 7 of the most bizarre and unbelievable incidents ever recorded in history. Stories so shocking and mysterious that they almost feel impossible, yet every single one of them is based on real events. So sit back, relax, and prepare to witness the strange side of reality. And if you enjoy uncovering hidden mysteries, unexplained events, and real stories that sound unbelievable, make sure to subscribe to Zee Mystery, where we dive deep into the world's most mysterious events, unexplained phenomena, and real stories that sound unbelievable. Until next time, stay curious. The first bizarre story takes us to Japan in the year 1954. At Tokyo's Haneda Airport, everything seemed normal. Travelers were arriving, passports were being checked, and immigration officers were doing their routine work. But then something strange happened. A man approached the immigration counter and handed over his passport. At first glance, everything looked normal, but when the officers examined the passport more closely, they were shocked. The passport belonged to a country called Taured. The problem was that no such country existed. The officers checked maps, atlases, and official records, but they could not find any nation with that name anywhere in the world. When questioned, the man appeared confused. He insisted that Taured was a real country located in Europe, and that it had existed for centuries. According to him, he had traveled internationally many times using the same passport. The situation became so strange that authorities decided to keep him in a hotel room under guard while they investigated further. But the next morning, something impossible happened. The man had completely disappeared. The room was locked, the windows were closed, there was no sign that anyone had entered or left. The mysterious traveler from Taured had vanished without a trace, and his story remains one of the strangest travel mysteries ever reported. The second strange incident happened in 1518 in the city of Strasbourg, located in modern-day France. It started with a single woman. One day, a woman suddenly began dancing in the middle of the street. At first, people thought she was simply celebrating or behaving strangely. But then something disturbing happened. She kept dancing for hours, then for days. Soon other people began to join her. Within a week, dozens of people were dancing uncontrollably in the streets. Soon the number reached hundreds. They could not stop. Some danced until they collapsed from exhaustion. Others suffered heart attacks or strokes due to extreme fatigue. Several people reportedly died. Authorities were completely confused. Doctors tried to explain the phenomenon but failed to reach a clear conclusion. Some historians believe it was a form of mass hysteria, while others suggest it may have been caused by a poisonous fungus that contaminated food supplies. But even today, historians still debate what truly caused the dancing plague of 1518. The third bizarre incident took place in the United States in 1876, and it is often called one of the strangest weather events ever recorded. One day, a woman stepped outside her home in Kentucky. Suddenly, pieces of meat began falling from the sky. Small chunks of meat started raining down across a large area. Within minutes, the ground was covered in these strange substances. People gathered to examine them. Some even tasted the strange substance. Scientists were called to investigate the bizarre event. Various theories were proposed. Some suggested that vultures flying overhead may have regurgitated partially digested meat all at once, but no explanation could be proven with certainty. To this day, the Kentucky meat shower remains one of the most unusual incidents ever reported. The fifth strange story involves a man who was believed to be dead. In 1999 in South Africa, a man was involved in a serious accident and was later declared dead. His body was placed in a morgue freezer along with other bodies. But 2 days later, morgue workers heard something terrifying. There were screams coming from inside the freezer. When they opened it, they found the man alive and desperately calling for help. He had somehow regained consciousness after being mistakenly declared dead. The workers were so frightened that some of them reportedly ran away, believing they had seen a ghost. The fifth mystery involves an entire village that vanished. In 1930, a fur trapper traveling through northern Canada arrived at a small Inuit village near Lake Anjikuni. But when he entered the settlement, something felt wrong. The village was completely empty. Houses were still standing, food supplies were left behind, personal belongings were still inside homes. But the people were gone. Every single resident had disappeared. Search teams later investigated the area, but they never found a clear explanation. The disappearance of the Anjikuni village remains one of the most mysterious cases in Canadian folklore. The sixth story is about a man often described as the luckiest or unluckiest man alive. His name was Frane Silak, a Croatian music teacher. Over the course of his life, he survived several near-death experiences. He survived a train crash that threw him into a freezing river. He survived a plane accident where he was thrown out of the aircraft and landed in a haystack. He survived multiple car accidents, a bus crash, and even a car explosion. After surviving all of these disasters, something unbelievable happened. He later won the lottery and became a millionaire. Many people say his life story is one of the most unbelievable combinations of bad luck and incredible survival ever recorded. The seventh and final story may sound impossible, but it is completely true. It involves a man who was struck by lightning 7 different times. His name was Roy Sullivan, a park ranger in the United States. Throughout his life, lightning struck him again and again. One strike burned his hair, another destroyed his shoes, another left him with severe burns. Yet incredibly, he survived every single strike. Because of this unbelievable record, his name was eventually recorded in the Guinness Book of World Records. Stories like these remind us that the world is stranger than we think. Even with all the technology and scientific knowledge humanity has today, there are still mysteries that remain unexplained. Events that challenge logic, stories that blur the line between reality and the unbelievable. And perhaps that's what makes our world so fascinating, because no matter how much we discover, there will always be secrets waiting to be uncovered. If you enjoyed exploring these strange and mysterious true stories, make sure to subscribe to Zee Mystery, because here we dive deep into the world's most mysterious events, unexplained phenomena, and real stories that sound unbelievable. And in our next video, we will uncover another mystery that might completely change the way you see the world. Until next time, stay curious.